Hello, my name is Joshua Garrett. I am one of the founding partners here at MOBI. I'd like to welcome you to this third Thursday event. My role here in the organization is Director of IT, so I'm responsible for all of the technology that you'll be seeing here today, including the EndUser portal that we're going to be going through. The EndUser portal is what end users or administrators may use to manage their lines of service day to day in using our technology. Looking at the portal here, I think there's a number of interesting things when a user first logs in. The first thing that you're going to see is that we know immediately all of the devices that that user owns. It could be wireless devices such as a phone or a smartphone. It could be a data card. It could even be a tablet such as an iPad. The other thing that's going on here is that we also know the role or roles that this user plays in the organization. That's not necessarily important here on the home page, but those roles really dictate a lot of what happens throughout the interface as it comes to ordering, upgrades, anything that end user may do. It's going to be limited based on business rules around those roles. So you may have an executive who is allowed to come in and she can order any device that she may want, and you may have another end user that is lower in the organization that can only order a basic feature phone. All of that is driven based on a configuration that then drives this end user interface here. The two main things that an end user can do is concentrate on ordering and replacements. So this is ordering new devices, accessories, if a device is lost or stolen, and then maintaining existing devices. So whether it's suspending service, changing a phone number, even changing a carrier, all of that can be done here through this end user portal. In this case, when I choose to order a new device, I'm allowed to do that based on my role. Some users may not see this because of their role in the organization and the business rules determined around that role. And there's two main things that I can do here. I can either begin a new device right away if I know exactly what I want to do, or if I'm not sure what I want to do, I can go through a series of questions to determine if I'm really on the right page. The reason why we've implemented this technology is because we find many users are confused by some of the wireless terminology, and while they may have broken their phone, they say, well, I really need to order a new device, wherein they're really doing is ordering a new line of service and all of the costs associated with that. So if we can prevent that from happening in both the time it takes to sort that out, as well as the costs around a new piece of equipment, and then any early termination fees, we like to proactively do it here on the Order New Device page. In this case, if I'm a user who's lost the device, I already have a mobile number. It's already active on my corporate account. And well, yep, it is lost, stolen, or broken. So it tells me what form I should complete and sends me to that form. In this case, when I really know what I want to do, I can say immediately without answering these questions, I want to begin a new device order. When I do that, I'm taken to the new device order interface. You can see here that all of my individual information is pre-filled out for me. I can also select a different person if I need to order on behalf of someone else. And this is critical if you're dealing with a user who's maybe an admin that has to order for her boss. She can log in, select that boss, place the order for her boss, and that boss will then receive the device rather than having that person have to log in themselves to do this. All the shipping information is pre-filled out if we know it ahead of time, either through a previous transaction or through information that's passed to us by the company. We can fill out information about the device in terms of where I'm going to use this, so the area code, the address, the city, the state, and the zip code. What's interesting too about this is that based on this information, I may drive what carrier or carriers are available to me. So the first thing driving this is the role. You may have a role that can only order from a certain carrier. Maybe they can only order for Sprint. Or if all carriers are available, you may have a location that is only available for that user, especially if you have a regional user. So you may have someone that is based in the Indianapolis area code, and based on your contract, you only want them to have AT&T. All of that information drives what carrier is then displayed here. In this case, you can see that I've got all 4 major carriers available to me on the domestic side. I can choose Verizon, for example, and now be shown all of the devices available to me on Verizon for my role. So there may actually be additional devices here that are available. There may be an iPad, for example, on Verizon that's available to certain users, and I may not see it. There may be more than the 4 smart devices available to other users. And there may be devices here that I can see that other users can't see, like the iPhone. All of that's displayed here for that end user. In this case, if I select the iPhone, I'm going to be given the choice of plans. That plan choice is optional. Some customers have MOBI do the plan optimizations for them. In that case, users are not selecting a plan. MOBI is actually selecting the plan based on that pooled. In this case, we're going to have the user select the plan they want based on the list and based on what device they chose. We really want to prevent a user who orders, say, a data card from ordering a plan that has voice minutes on it, or vice versa. If you have a feature phone, you may not want a data plan available to them. So devices are very strictly tied to plans. The same thing with features. Features are tied to plans and tied to phones. So again, if you had a data card, you wouldn't see unlimited texting. Also, if that plan had something like unlimited mobile-to-mobile in it, you wouldn't see mobile-to-mobile as an additional selectable feature. Again, we want to be proactive about cost avoidance here at MOBI, and we use the tool to help do that. I can also show accessories that are available to me. Accessories can be company paid. They can be paid by the individual. They can be a combination where there are basic accessories available that are paid by the company, and more advanced accessories like Bluetooth headsets that may be paid for by the individual. And then I can make any comments I may want on this order. So in this case, I want to say, please ship this promptly. When I submit this order, it's going to take me to a screen that's going to preview all the information that I've filled out here. Again, just making sure that I have one last check to see that this is what I want to submit, as well as all the cost information here. So whether it's equipment cost, recurring cost, all of that is available to me right here. I can cancel that order, or I can choose to confirm that order. When I confirm that order is not necessarily immediately processed by MOBI. As I mentioned earlier, there may be some type of an approval that has to happen for this type of order. That approval can be very much driven based on the role or driven by the carrier. Really any business any business rule that the company could think up. So in this case, you may have an executive, they log in and can order this iPhone, and that executive, because of her level in the organization, requires no approval whatsoever. You may have someone like my user here logging in, they may require a manager approval. You may have another user who logs in who may require 2 or 3 different levels of approval, and that level of approval may only be based on the type of device they select. So a feature phone may be approved right away, and a smart device may require 2 levels of approval. The nice thing about our technology that we've delivered here is because it is so flexible in terms of business rules and roles, we can be very accommodating in terms of demands placed by the organization, especially in large organizations that have different business units that may have different approaches for managing wireless. That entire wireless program can be managed through our interface, yet can have different flavors of it based on what the business rule determines is the best use or the best setup for their program. Going back to the dashboard here, again, we're going to show the 4 devices that I had, the 2 phones, the data card, and the iPad device. I can see here too in recent activity, I also have a new wireless service activity that is waiting for approval. The other thing that I mentioned we can do here is managing these existing lines. So if I have a device that is currently mine and I want to change the carrier, let's say this T-Mobile device here, I want to manage this line and I want to change it away from T-Mobile. I can select change carrier on this device and it's going to take me into the change carrier form. So you can see here I've got my T-Mobile form or my T-Mobile device here, and I can see then here are the 2 carriers that are now available to me, Sprint and Verizon. T-Mobile obviously is not on that list because we don't want someone to be able to change from T-Mobile to T-Mobile. All the same rules apply in terms of what devices I can choose from based on calling area, based on what my role is, based on what business unit I'm in. I can choose, in this case from Sprint, a phone or a smartphone. With Verizon, you remember we also had a data card option. So it's limiting, again, what is available to me based on what the carrier contract has with you, the customer. In this case, I can then also go through the same process of selecting the device, selecting a plan, selecting features, submitting that, and going through the approval process. That may or may not be the same as the new order process. The other nice thing about our technology is that you're not reliant on the technology. So if at any point an employee has a question, they can call us by phone, they can reach us by email, they can live chat with us, they can look at the FAQs that are company-specific FAQs, so they're going to be very relevant to that employee and to that program. So it gives a lot of flexibility in terms of if they aren't comfortable or if they have a question using the technology, a way to get in touch with us. Certainly this technology has a lot of additional functionality and features to it, and well as very flexible solution, not only in the end user interface, but the reporting interface that we will cover in a subsequent third Thursday. I certainly appreciate your time here today, very briefly going through some of the features of the end user portal. If you have any questions, I would encourage you to reach out to your MOBI representative and schedule a more detailed demo here sometime in the near future. Thank you for your time.